Most hugelkultur beds don't fail because the idea is wrong. They fail because gardeners build them in a way that quietly sabotages the soil before the first plant ever goes in. The mistake is surprisingly simple. People bury dry wood and expect it to magically improve the soil. What actually happens is the exact opposite. That wood begins pulling moisture and nitrogen out of the surrounding soil, starving plants, and slowing growth right when your garden needs nutrients the most. When this happens, gardeners often blame the climate, the soil, or even the hugelkultur method itself. But the real issue is inside the mound. The biology isn't balanced yet, and the wood layers are competing with plants instead of supporting them. One thing that helped me start diagnosing these problems properly was using a 4-in-1 soil moisture meter, digital plant, temperature, soil moisture, pH, meter sunlight, intensity, backlight, LCD display. Hugelkultur beds can have very different moisture levels between the surface and the core, and guessing those conditions leads to bad decisions about watering and soil amendments. A meter quickly shows whether the mound is actually holding moisture where plant roots need it. I'll leave the exact one I use in the description if you want to check it out. Once I started paying attention to those internal conditions, it became clear that most hugelkultur problems start with how the mound is built on day one, and fixing that mistake completely changes how the system performs. The mistake most gardeners make when building hugelkultur. The standard advice you see online is simple. Dig a trench, throw in logs, pile branches on top, cover it with soil, and start planting. That approach works eventually, but during the first 1 or 2 seasons it often creates unstable growing conditions. Fresh wood decomposes slowly and demands nitrogen while microbes break it down. At the same time, large gaps between logs create inconsistent moisture pockets throughout the mound. Some areas stay wet, others dry out quickly, and plant roots struggle to find stable conditions. The result is uneven growth, poor yields, and, honestly, a lot of frustration for gardeners who expected hugelkultur to improve their soil immediately. But this problem has a straightforward solution once you understand how decomposition actually works. Hugelkultur is really a controlled decomposition system. When done correctly, a hugelkultur mound functions like a slow compost pile buried under soil. The wood breaks down gradually, while fungi and bacteria convert organic matter into plant-available nutrients. But just like compost, decomposition requires the right balance of carbon, nitrogen, moisture, and air. Wood provides carbon, but it's extremely high-carbon material. If you bury large volumes of it without enough nitrogen nearby, microbes pull nitrogen from the surrounding soil to fuel the breakdown process. That's what causes early nutrient deficiencies in hugelkultur beds. The fix is simple. Balance the carbon with nitrogen before you finish building the mound. Adding nitrogen-rich layers prevents the nutrient drain. When I build hugelkultur beds now, the wood never goes in alone. Each layer of wood gets paired with nitrogen-rich organic matter. Fresh grass clippings, green plant waste, manure, kitchen scraps, or even partially finished compost all work well. These materials feed the microbes that begin decomposing the wood. Instead of stealing nutrients from the surrounding soil, the microbial community now has its own supply to work with. The difference is dramatic. Plants growing above the mound no longer show the yellowing leaves and slow growth that often appear in first-year hugelkultur beds. Instead, the soil begins building fertility almost immediately. The type of wood you choose also matters more than people think. Another mistake I see frequently is gardeners using whatever wood happens to be available. Not all wood behaves the same way underground. Softwoods like pine or poplar break down faster and start contributing organic matter within a year or 2. Hardwoods like oak can take much longer to decompose, which means they store moisture longer, but release nutrients more slowly. Both types can work well, but mixing them usually produces the most balanced results. One thing I always avoid is freshly cut wood that is extremely dry. Dry logs act like giant sponges that pull water out of the soil before they begin holding moisture. Soaking wood before building the mound helps prevent this early moisture imbalance. It's a small step that makes Hugelkultur beds far more stable during their first growing season. Soil layering inside the mound determines how plants perform. The way soil is placed over the wood also changes how Hugelkultur behaves. Some gardeners simply dump soil over the logs and call it finished, but that approach leaves large air pockets that eventually collapse as the mound settles. A better method is building the mound gradually in layers: wood at the bottom, then organic material, then soil, then another layer of wood and organic matter. This pattern repeats until the mound reaches the desired height. Each soil layer fills gaps and creates a more uniform environment for plant roots. When the mound settles later, it compresses evenly rather than collapsing in unpredictable ways. This stability becomes especially important when growing heavy crops like tomatoes, squash, or peppers. Water management is where Hugelkultur really starts to shine. Once the wood begins absorbing moisture and decomposition picks up, Hugelkultur beds become incredibly efficient at storing water. In my own garden, raised beds built with buried wood layers need significantly less watering during those hot months compared to standard soil beds. The decomposing wood acts like a reservoir right beneath the root zone. But, this benefit does take a bit of time to develop. During the first year, you still need to keep an eye on moisture levels and water as needed. That's why checking the soil every now and then helps prevent overwatering or underwatering while the system gets settled. Once the wood becomes fully saturated, the mound gradually transitions into a self-regulating moisture system. The second year is when Hugelkultur beds really take off. By the second growing season, the biology inside the mound changes dramatically. Fungal networks expand through the decomposing wood, which helps move nutrients and moisture throughout the soil. Earthworms start colonizing the mound, mixing organic matter and improving the soil structure. Plant roots begin to explore deeper layers as the soil becomes softer and richer. At that point, Hugelkultur beds often outperform traditional garden beds because they maintain moisture and nutrients so much more consistently. The transformation can be pretty surprising if you've only experienced the early stages. These principles actually work even beyond Hugelkultur mounds. One thing I've learned from experimenting with Hugelkultur is that the underlying principles apply to many types of gardens. Raised beds benefit from buried organic matter that helps with water retention. Container gardens can use small wood fragments or even biochar to stabilize soil structure. Even hydroponic systems can benefit from understanding how microbial life interacts with organic materials. The common thread across all these systems is the balance between carbon, nitrogen, microbes, and moisture. Once you get a handle on that balance, building productive growing environments becomes a whole lot easier. Good soil always comes down to biology. The biggest lesson Hugelkultur teaches is that soil fertility is driven by living systems. Plants don't just grow in soil. They grow in partnership with bacteria, fungi, and countless microscopic organisms that cycle nutrients and keep soil structure healthy. When gardeners design systems that support those organisms, plant health improves naturally. Hugelkultur is just one powerful way to create that environment, using materials that might otherwise be waste. If you found this helpful and you want more practical, experience-based techniques for building productive gardens, consider subscribing to the channel and sharing this video with another gardener who's experimenting with Hugelkultur. Because honestly, the more we understand soil biology, the more productive our gardens become year after year.